Just to let the tension build even larger in our trousers, let's go to today's reviews. With the entire population of Japan owning at least 2 copies of this game each, this has been heralded as the biggest console release in history. It's an RPG, but with over 70 hours of gameplay, it's absolutely huge and tells an epic story of mystery, intrigue, romance and flashy pullback camera shots. It's the most eagerly awaited PlayStation title ever, Final Fantasy VII.
So at last, the official English version of Final Fantasy VII has reached our shores. This is Sony's big attempt to push the RPG out of the clique and into the mass market.
This game is beautiful. I mean, the emotional connection you have with the characters, the longevity of the game, the detail, the beautiful graphics, everything about this game is absolutely stunning.
The basic concept behind Final Fantasy VII is to take the role-playing game and make it appeal to a much broader audience. And to do that, they've made the whole experience far more cinematic. There are cutscenes, added touches, wipes, new moves into combat sections, and the whole thing feels more like a film.
Because this game has been so hyped, when you first put it into your machine and play it, you're expecting something completely extraordinary. Unfortunately, it's not quite as immediate as that. You are disappointed for the first couple of minutes, but believe me, that dissolves away. This game is incredibly deep, and you will be completely engrossed. Every time you think you know where you're at with this game, there's a sudden change or twist in the plot. You never quite know what's going on. Once you think you've got a grip on the game, you suddenly find out you haven't, and your whole entire world is turned upside down.
If you've never bought an RPG before, this is definitely one to explore. Final Fantasy VII is still a part of a very distinct genre, but it's a great story, and the appeal of great stories is always universal.
I've always had a lot of time for little blokes who throw bombs, so I am totally tumescent about the arrival of Bomberman on the N64. The game's multiplayer modes include a new team battle option as well as the classic 4-player free-for-all. There's also a 1-player adventure mode where you wander around enormous 3D levels, planting bombs, solving puzzles, and wondering where all your mates have gone.
The adventure mode is pretty awful all round. It bears a striking resemblance at first to a Mario kind of game. Unfortunately, it's nowhere near. There's a lack of creativity, there's a lack of depth.
The one interesting addition to the multiplayer mode of this Bomberman is the team battle. And this is where teams of players guard their crystals. Your own personal safety is no longer an issue. You have to guard your own color crystals and destroy the other players. It's interesting because it actually makes a use of the 3D levels instead of ignoring the fact that they're 3D and trying to apply the old-style gameplay to this new scenario.
Now, don't get me wrong. If the original versions of Bomberman hadn't existed, this would be a very good game. But unfortunately, they do.